Good morning, everybody. Great to have you here in this webinar. The webinar is about the open call for associated regions in our EU Restore4Life project. And yeah, on behalf of the whole committee and participants, I want to welcome you here. So a short introduction to today's speakers. I am from University of Natural Resources and Life Sciences in Austria. Then we have Barbara Stammel from QI in Germany, Johanna Weindorfer, who is leading the entire webinar, and Dušanka from Serbia. Next one, please. Yes, so we will give you a short introduction to Restore4Life and also show you our implementation sites and the concept of associated regions. And then the most important thing for you is then the criteria, submission, evaluation process, and application form for the open call. And at the end, we have a Q&A session. Yeah. So what is Restore4Life about? Well, first, so very short information. This is a Horizon Europe project. We started in June last year, and the duration of the project is 4 years, so it goes until May 2027. In total, we have 31 partners, quite a lot coming from academic and research institutions, but we also have local national authorities, NGOs, and SMEs. Yep, the next one. So what is the project goal? Well, if you look at the last one, what we want to do is encourage and support the implementation of holistic wetland restoration across Europe. So this is generally the aim of this mission and of our project. And how are we going to do that? Well, we will develop during our project a Restore4Life wetland restoration decision support system. So this is a platform where you can find, where you can link with experts, where you can find advices, tools, materials, etc., that help you to initiate restoration projects, restoration activities in your countries, and which help you to also understand the health of wetlands and forecast the health of wetlands. We have 2 special points. These are in between. So empower the community, which means that we promote a participatory government systems by engaging the public, the civic and private sectors in these restoration. And there's another special point. We want to support local revenue and business activities in restored ecosystems. The idea is, and this is also reflected in our title, Restore4Life means we want to restore wetlands, but also for the benefit of people. Next slide, please. Yeah, so this is approximately the phases we are in. So the first, we are now at the start. We are currently in the phase of developing of tools. So we are looking at indicators and methods for the assessment of wetland, the ecological state and the functions of wetlands, and also their ecosystem services they provide. And we are developing business models. So this is the phase we are currently on. And we also are already a bit in the second phase, which is then the testing and the validation. So we have in total 4 implementation sites, which will be introduced later on, 6 monitoring sites, and then 5 associated regions at least, where we want to test these indicators, methods, business models, validate them, improve them, and then finally this will feed into this wetland restoration platform so that people across Europe can get their advice how to implement restoration activities in their own countries. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and with this, I hand over to Dušanka for the introduction of the implementation sites. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so as already mentioned in the call documentation, Associated regions are understood as areas with similar ecosystems, abiotic, biotic, and socioeconomic conditions to at
Pushka,
least one.
sorry.
You
Yeah?
have to share your screen.
Okay, sorry. I thought I share it.
No problem.
Now it's fine, right? Is it okay now?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. So as it already mentioned in documentation of coal, we are looking for associated regions, which are areas with similar ecosystems, biotic, abiotic conditions, and socioeconomic conditions with at least one implementation site of Restore4Life. There is 4 implementation sites located in different parts of Danube Basin, upper, middle, and lower. One is located in Austria, March-Steyr floodplain, one in Slovakia, Rudava floodplain, the third one in Serbia, Vlasina wetlands, and fourth one in Danube Delta, and includes Enisala wetlands. All these sites are completely different in, let's say, socioeconomic and legislation frameworks. For example, there is one implementation site located in non-EU country and 3 in EU countries, which implies completely different legislation frameworks relevant for restoration works and obtaining licenses, carrying out construction works, etc. Also, there is one transborder site, which is located in Austria, which will offer amazing experiences in very nice for upscaling to other regions in one very challenging task, negotiations between different stakeholders of Slovakia and Austria. As for wetland types, 2 wetlands belong to lowland river floodplain wetlands, the one in Austria and one in Slovakia. The third one is very unique because it's located in highlands of Serbia, and it's typical peatland. And also the fourth one is located in Danube Delta and includes completely unique conditions and challenges. 3 sites are Ramsar, recognized by Ramsar Convention. One is Biosphere Reserve. 2 sites are belong to Natura 2000 Habitat Network, and one is candidate for Natura 2000 since implementation of EU Habitat Directive is not still obliged in Serbia, and it's at early beginning. So all these sites include different habitat alterations and climate change challenges. So there is a need for increasing, for example, lateral connectivity at March River wetlands in Austria. And this will be performed, for example, by lowering and opening the bank structure to reconnect the March River with the Sime arm to the Palmer Lake and to restore this Oxbow Lake. This site will offer a nice experience in removing riprap to enable bank forming processes and to increase habitat heterogeneity using wood debris and planting willow shoots. However, as I already mentioned, there is a challenge in a bilateral and mutual agreements between various stakeholders in both of countries. And of course, there are some common challenges typical for any restoration work, such as a proper management of endangered or invasive species during the restoration works, and of course, decreased water level during the restoration works. And the second implementation site, which is located in Slovakia, is actually half modified, the river, which is half modified, heavily modified during the last decades. And this included reinforcement and resectioning of banks and significant decrease of lateral connectivity. There is a plan to restore natural river flow by redirecting water into original meandering channel from this red one to this green one, and also to construct inflow structures to regulate water input, because there should be a balance between discharge in restored and artificial channel. This is one of the main challenges in this area, and also obtaining special licenses for entering this area. I think this is also a challenge in many places. Okay, so the implementation site 3, as I said, it's very unique because it's located in highlands of Serbia and includes typical peatland transitional mires, which are very typical for this part of the Danube Basin. And when search for equivalent habitat directive code, it can't be found. So, for example, here the Berne Convention is very important document for to guide restoration works in this area. So different measures will be carried out here, such as testing of different approaches for mechanical harvesting of invasive aquatic plants, afforestation and stabilization of eroded shoreline, removal of late successional and invasive plant species from transitional mire habitats, restoration of riparian areas by planting, creation or restoring of meanders, and passive water rising. So these sites offer insight into very different variety of restoration measures. And the main challenge is to align all these measures with different stakeholders in this area. And the fourth restoration implementation site is located in Danube Delta. This buffer zone needs to be mitigated. The eutrophication needs to be mitigated and water quality needs to be improved here, because this buffer zone is located between two lakes, and currently there is a very, very low circulation of water during the summer period, which is threatening some of very endangered species. So the action will include implementation of technical solutions that improve the retention of nutrients. So excuse me, there are different kinds of potential solutions which will be chosen after a very careful remote sensing observations and analysis. Each of these include restoring some of channels and creation of sediment traps. But as I said, the best solution will be chosen during the project. And of course, here is one typical challenge for restoration works, performing interventions without causing negative impact on endangered species. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, then Okay, I think you should see this now. Then we will, Barbara, now explain the concept of associated regions.
Yeah, thank you, Johanna. Yeah, perfect. Duška showed you very nicely our 4 demonstration sites. The actions which we want to implement during our Restore4Life. And now the idea of the project is to upscale the tools and the indicators Gabi mentioned before. We want to generate during the project. We would like to upscale these tools to other areas in Europe, and this is important. We want to expand the knowledge not only in the countries of our project partnership, but also to other countries. So in these other associated regions, we want to prepare roadmaps, plans, and projects, not we, together with these associated regions. And yeah, to restore, the main aim is to really to restore wetland ecosystems. So for this, we were able to select money which we want to grant and support you with 100,000 euros in at least 5 associated regions. With this call, you are probably familiar, otherwise you wouldn't be here. And the deadline is coming closer. It is the end of May. Next slide, please. So probably your main question will be, what are we expecting from you? That's why we are here. During your project with these 100,000 euros, one of the main objectives is really to interact with the local stakeholders, to bring the tools, the ideas to them, to you and to them. And for this, we would like to have a workshop in your region. You should contribute, but also we will contribute. These workshops should take place at the beginning of next year, 2025, from February to July, more or less. And during this workshop in your region, we would like to plan and apply our planning tools and develop together with you and your stakeholders roadmaps. These roadmaps, or we will start this process. These roadmaps will be developed by you with our technical assistance at the end, at the end of 25 or by January 2026. And as we would like to have you on board of our Restore4Life project, not just get the money, but be part of the idea of Restore4Life, for sure, we would like to have a workshop with all associated regions together with your stakeholders, and you should participate in this workshop and also at least at one Restore4Life event. We have half yearly, more or less, meetings, and there you would have the chance to meet all partners and to exchange and yeah, to also to help us developing these tools and methods. So that's from my side. The timeline is quite clear. The call will close on the 29th of May at 5 p.m. Central European Summertime. The application online tool will really close at this time, so there is no no later submission possible. Thank you. I hand over to Johanna.
Yeah. Okay, then we will focus on the eligibility criteria. So on this page, you will see the most important rules we will have to participate in our open call. So the most important rule first is that your region needs to have more or less similar ecosystem or socioeconomic conditions to at least one of the implementation side. So Dushanka already told you some of the main aspects of our implementation side. So you will have to argue that your region has a few similar points to those. And then it's also very important that you can applicate as a team of 1 of 2 or 3 partners from an eligible country and this is only possible for local and regional authorities. So please be aware that NGOs or higher education organizations are not allowed to participate. That's a rule from the European Commission. We can't change anything from this. I know that most of you, of the registrants from this webinar now are not from authorities, but you will need to head out to find authority. You can find that will apply for this, and also in case of a consortium, it's not possible to make a mixture out of authority and NGO, whatever. So all parties need to be an authority. So, but also to forward for any question, I can say that subcontracting is also possible. We clarified this with our project officer after the last webinars we had. So please make sure that only authorities are applying, and then in the end, it's also possible to make subcontracting, whatever, but this is very important. And then for the country needs to be an EU member state or associated to Horizon Europe, and all countries that are part of our project consortium from Restore4Life are excluded. So I can show you here a map, and all countries in black, dark color, sorry, are eligible for our open call. So mostly the Danube basin is excluded because most of our partners are from there. But there is just remaining Albania, Kosovo, North Macedonia, and all other countries, also in the Baltics, Scandinavia, Iceland, the UK is also eligible. They are all, it's all possible there. And also for Ukraine and Israel, depending on the security risk, they are not excluded. So they are also eligible. The EU doesn't have any restrictions on this. And also what I can say is that outermost regions are also eligible. So for the case of Portugal, the Azores are also fine. Yeah. And then you see here a list of our potential restoration activities. So you don't have to make all those activities, but you can just pick out the best ones that fit to you. So that's a whole range our implementation sites are within. So yeah, it's from removal of channel bank regulations, from restoration of a natural riverbed, river dynamics improvement, but also just the monitoring of actions and nature-based solutions. So a quite wide range of passive and active measures. And then for the costs, so there are different cost categories. You will need to elaborate how many costs you will need to have for each category. So there's first the personal costs, and then purchase costs especially for travel and subsistence, for equipment, other goods and work services. So you will need to clarify in which category you will use that much. And the indirect costs, that's a kind of overhead. So you don't have to see, okay, what you don't have to clarify what exactly you will have to pay there. So it's really a flat rate, 25% of the direct costs, especially for your office rent or electricity. So kind of costs you have in background, but you can't clarify that. So they're just an overhead. And the maximum budget is 100,000 euros per project. And the exact amount we will pay you is based on the estimation you will do within your application. And you will also need to keep in mind that you should include costs in that calculations for organizing workshops in your region, and that you will have to attend in minimum one of our Restore4Life meetings. So those kind of travel costs or workshop costs need to be included there as well. Yeah, and before we go to the selection criteria, there's now the possibility to raise your hand to give some questions. And before all persons write down all in the chat, we want to have this in a kind of online form so that you can have access also after this webinar, again, that we will also have more time to answer some questions we might oversee or don't have the time at the moment. So you have here this link. This should be now also in the chat as well. So in the chat, you can click on this form and write it down there. And yeah, then you can type there all your questions, and we will have more time to answer it, and all persons can see it. And if there's if you have questions you might not type down good or want to raise your hand to speak, that's also possible, of course.
So, Johanna, there is one question about how the universities can be subcontractors. Can you answer this?
Difficult. So, yeah, we clarify this so that it is possible to make subcontracting, but we have no further information of how it will work in the end. So also if this is a special cost category, its own subcontracting section, or if it is included to services and you will just yeah, give the work to someone else. We can't say this at the moment that in a detailed way, but it is possible, and we will find it out for you, of course. But that's, yeah.
But the general idea is that if you cooperate with a local or regional authority and they will apply, they do not have to do the work on their own. They can subcontract the university. Some persons like an F&E, like a research and development project. Probably you have to clarify this with your university as well and with the authority how you would like to contract, but is it general way of financing. But we will clarify if there are special needs from EU side.
Yeah, then the second question is if the flat rate can also be less than 25%. The information I found is that it's fixed for all Horizon Europe projects, that it is 25%, so that you don't have to change it.
But I think we are not sure if we really have to apply it to these.
Okay, so we will find it out as well.
Yeah, we've found out. Sorry for this. It's good that you are asking,
yes,
all of you, but the rules were given by the EU, and it is not everything fixed. It's our impression.
Yeah, it's quite a new concept of having associated regions, and that's why the EU is mostly not that clear at the moment as well. Yeah, but as that more questions we will have, and the more questions we can ask them, they will give us more clear information about this, of course.
Third question about the local and regional authorities. So the main idea for sure is that it is a city, a village, a district, but it depends on your country. What is local and what is regional, and what we need is that you prove that your institution, your authority is really a local, a regional authority. About the educational body, I'm actually not sure. I wouldn't know it, also not for Germany. I would have to clarify this, but
Yeah, so I think it should be governmental, but as the rules are different for each country, in such cases, it would be the best if you can give us proof, a legal proof of your country that your entity is a kind of local or regional authority, and then we will accept this and trust this. Yeah, but in case that the EU will see it differently, so you will need to have a proof. Because there's right at this moment the question in the chat, so if you could put this into the online form, it would be nice. But with a natural park, it's the same problem. So you will need to find proof that your national park authority or nature reserve authority is defined as a local or regional authority. Otherwise, it's at the moment not possible. And
this really depends on your country. So again, from the German perspective, we can say our national parks in, for example, Bavaria are led by the regional authority. So it would be eligible. But this depends really on of the structure of your country and of the legislation or the law there. So this is, unfortunately, that is your homework to prove it.
Yeah, and the fourth question, I already tried to find out before the webinar because of Azerbaijan, and unnecessarily it's not associated to Horizon Europe. So Azerbaijan is not an EU member. And apart from that, we have some countries in Europe that are participating in EU programs. And that's why we have already also some countries like Serbia or Norway that are not EU countries, but are also participating in EU Horizon program. So they need to be associated to it. But Azerbaijan, I didn't find any information that this is part of, that they have signed any cooperation with EU programs. So I'm not sure if there was any unpleasant experience before, but they just have no cooperation with the program. So unfortunately, we can't do anything there. And yeah, there are some countries listed, they are associated, they are on the EU sanction map, for special with the Ukraine or something, that you can't pay money to entities that are on the EU sanction map, but this is not the case for Azerbaijan. So the whole country does not have a cooperation. So we don't know why.
So yeah, the last question at the moment is, are there any details in budget allocation within the years, or we are deciding? So there are no timely limits, restrictions besides the the overall project lifetime. But yeah, so you develop your work plan and see how you need to allocate the budget fitting to your plan.
I think it just needs to be paid within the project duration. Yeah, but when it is not relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And Switzerland is also one of the countries, unfortunately, that didn't want to cooperate with the EU Horizon project. So there's also no, it's not associated and therefore not eligible. Sorry that I interrupted your question writing.
So maybe because there were a lot of questions about this authority and regional and local. So local and regional authorities can apply. That's correct, Jana.
Local and regional, yes.
Yeah, local and yeah.
So and regional, not national ones. So that's the one thing. Just that this is the aerial context. And the second is, well, the definition, as we said, is unfortunately not clear from the EU. But if you look into the web and dictionaries, local authority is an organization that is in charge of the public services for a community. Well, this is something which you can at least cite in order to argue whether your, I don't know, whatever, is an authority. And there's the question of whether just one local authority or more. Yes, there can be more.
Yes.
Yeah.
As it's possible to apply just as one authority or in a consortium of 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 is the maximum.
Mm-hmm.
And they can also be from 2 different countries, but both countries need to be eligible, of course.
And you will need to have a how's it called? An agreement that you are cooperate together later on, if you will be selected.
Yeah, and the personal costs are just for the authority from the information I know. So that's why we would need to find out where you will put down the subcontracting costs, if this will be a separate category or it comes to the purchase cost, the services, so the third category. We'll find this out, but personal costs are really just for the official personnel within the party, so the authority or authorities, if kind of consortium. If you apply with some more countries in, so one project at the boundary, so from 2 eligible countries, then it's of course just one region. So you can't mix more regions in one project. So that would be in case that you have a project site that it's situated in a border situation, and then you have one project region there you have a similarity to one of our implementation sites, and then it's also fine, but you don't have to have 2 sites in 2 countries. Okay, and I see that the subcontracting is also very important for you. So I think we will ask this, our project officer, again. And that's why it's also good that we will have all those questions now written here in this document. So we can add all the questions later on as well. And you will have also the possibility to add more questions after this meeting. So don't get in a hurry. You can ask us anything and we will try to answer it. Yeah, because I'm not sure if I can answer the last question at the moment.
Maybe I can add something for subcontracting. So subcontracting in Horizon Europe is proved by invoice, right? And there is one rule which said that only a part of one task and just part of one activity can be subcontracted. So maybe this can be useful because we also have to compile with Horizon Europe rules, right? So I think it's okay for them to provide some service, which is a part of some activity, and they will be paid for this, and we will have a proof as an invoice here, and that's all. That's subcontracting.
And the topic of the contracts can be monitoring data, can be organization of a workshop, can be developing a roadmap, and so on. So this depends on, it can be several results in a report, but yeah, it can be different.
Yeah, so for the application form itself, if you have to calculate your costs, I would suggest that you put the subcontracting costs to the service section.
Yeah, we will look this up and write it down there in this form and inform you later on about this. My suggestion would be now, this form is still open. You can still write in if some ideas are coming in your mind. And we go on with the criteria, the evaluation process, maybe.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah,
and we'll have a second question section later on as well.
Exactly. And then see, we know now it was question 11. From 12 on, we will start later.
Okay.
Okay, so now probably for you also is quite important not only what to fill in the proposal, but how your proposal will be evaluated by us. It is a single stage evaluation. It is not too complicated. But yeah, here you can see the workflow. You will hopefully submit your proposal in time, and then a first check we will make is this proposal eligible. So as we already mentioned, we will check if you are a local or regional authority, if you could prove this. We will check if you are from an eligible country. Further, we will check if whether the proposal was submitted only via the online application form, if your proposal is complete, and if you have written it in English. Those are the 5 points. If no, then we are very sorry that you made the effort, and but we will inform you with a rejection letter. If yes, we are happy and we will evaluate, we and our consortium partners from the Restore4Life, but also external evaluators will evaluate your proposal, and in the end we will have a consensus meeting who will be selected. Then we have the pre-selection, and we are getting in contact with you about the subgrant agreement, which will be signed between us as the Catholic University, as the partner which will transfer the money to you, and with the Uni Bucharest, which is the project leader in Restore4Life. Mihai Adamescu is also here active in the chat. And if everything is done, we are happy that the work can really be started and that the project will implement it. Okay. So we try to find 3 different types of criteria, and this is quite common in the EU. That is, one is excellence, the other one is the impact, and the third one is the implementation. So we would like to have excellent project, excellent associated regions. And what is excellent? A first point is that your objectives in the associated region of your proposal, they should really fit to our objectives of the Restore4Life project. Gabi showed them before. We have the overall objectives, but we also have the specific objectives Dušanka showed us before. The second point for excellence is that is the point that we have really a similarity to at least one of our 4 implementation sites. If this is not the case, we will probably be not able to help you in your associated regions. So we need a similarity, but this can be the abiotic situation, like the embankment of your river. It could be biotic situation, that you have also a bog vegetation in your country, or it could be socioeconomic conditions that you are situated on a border, that you try to find business solutions for restored wetlands and so on. And so please have a look again on our implementation sites. If you have questions, come to us and we try to answer it if you really fit to our project. Next slide, please. Coming to the impact now. We have 2 points. First one is that we would like to have you on board and help us in developing this wetland restoration decision support system. We do not want to have an academic idea of how to build a system, but we really would like to evaluate it, test it, and bring it into action. And therefore, we need the associated regions if our ideas in our 4 implementation sites are really fitting also to other areas, to associated regions. And so we really would like to upscale the idea and exploit our results and promote the project. The second point is more on the European-wide scale. You probably heard about this EU mission, Restore Our Ocean and Waters. If not, please get familiar with this. And one of the target is protect and restore freshwater ecosystems and biodiversity. And it is not just protect them, we want to restore them. And therefore, we need more regions, as many as possible. And so you should show your contribution to the mission with your project. Coming to the last point, the implementation, we would like to be sure that your plans, your ideas, your action plans are really coming into action. We will evaluate the feasibility of your plan, how to co-create, how to monitor, and how to restore your actions, your things. And therefore, we need a clear description of your project work plan and how these are fitting to your proposed objectives. But also be honest, describe already potential barriers and risks that may affect the work plan, and most or in the best case also we see that you are aware of these barriers, but also describe how you think you overcome these barriers. And for sure, we want to have a clear, see how your costs are clearly related to this working plan. And the second part of the implementation criteria is that we all know that if there exists already some knowledge, some ambition, some work that you have already done, that you have already a local or regional network, that you are in contact with stakeholders, please let us know about these. Those are prerequisites that projects are successful, and therefore please describe us who you are, what are your qualities, what is your expertise, and what else you will include into the project, or what you have done already. So give us a picture of you. So the evaluation process, you have submitted your proposal. We have independently, fair, impartial tried to evaluate your proposal, and then the evaluation board will come together, the steering committee from the Restore4Life project and external advisory board, independent, I've said it already, and they have also to sign a declaration that they are independent of your projects. And then we will rank all proposals and notify you about the results. And if the result is positive, we will contact you and really try to bring you on board of the Restore4Life project. The evaluation process will have, or each evaluator will use the same scale. We have a 5-level scale. The threshold is 2, so to each point of these 6 criteria, so it's impact, excellence, and implementation, with 2 sub-points, and all of them have to be fair, not poor. So the threshold is 2. If we say, oh, in this point we have only 1, then we will not be able to still keep this project. And in the end, we will just rank all proposals by our scores and see who is the best. Yeah. And if we have more than 2 projects with the same rank, we will then still have in mind that we try to cover the geographical coverage of entire Europe, not to have all projects from or associated regions from one country, and also the representativeness of all our implementation sites in the selection of the associated regions. But this is really the last point if we cannot decide who is better than the other one. And if you won't get a quick response from us, or it is also possible that you get the response that you are on a reserve list, just in case that we have 5 associated regions selected, but we have problems with one of them, whatever, then we will still keep this reserve list and ask you probably a little bit later than the first time frame. Thank you. And over to Johanna again.
Yeah, okay, so we will now jump into the documents we created for you. So we have 6 annexes that are already available for you on the website. You can download them. And the most important document, I would say, is the guideline for applicants. So please make sure that you have read it. So it's, I don't know, 13, 14 pages, but it's really all details on the open call, on all the phases that you will go through, all information you'll find in there. So it's really important. So please read this. And then the second one is the application form, but it's not a document in its all, but it's a more online application form I will show you in a few minutes. And then we have already some templates for a sub-grant agreement, the declaration of honor, so a normal one and a consortium one, so depending on how you're applying, and also the bank account information. So you don't have to fill this out for the application. You will just need this if you will be accepted in the end, then you will have to sign 3 of them. Yeah, but at the moment, the most important one are the guidelines. So yeah, so you will see there's some all information, and also those criteria Barbara was presenting, they are all inside there. And where do you find those, all those? You're going onto our website and to the open call section, and there you scroll down where you can find this box behind the frog, and there you can download all of those annexes I showed you. And there's also the section of submitting the application. So there you yeah, we'll have the link where you directly can go to the application form. And I will show you this now. So there's also a normal link, but I will show you the way over our website. So yeah, so this is the website from the open call section, and there you scroll down. So there's country map again, also the recording of our last webinar. And then here down there are all the documents. And now we go here on submit the application. And there you have the page where you can find the survey. So conclusion of all the most important points, the timeline, then also for the survey, when it starts, when it ends. So here again, the 29th of May at 5 p.m. European time, Central European time. Also, if you will need this one more time, a link for the guideline, to our implementation sites, to the recording of our info day, and the further page of the associated regions. But if you want to apply, then in the end, you click here on fill out the survey, and then you will find all the boxes where you can fill in the information. So here first, of course, the title of your planned action, then the location of your associated region, that we can see that it's an eligible country. Then really, really important are the contact details. So this kind of survey, it's hosted by HIFIS, that's an institution And so this survey is kind of anonymously. So because if you don't do this, you may need to register, and for some authorities, it may be not possible. We are not sure that they can make the step of registration, because it was quite, for me, a bit, I was struggling with this. And so that's anonymously. So it's really important that you put all your contact details in here, as well as the email address. So please, all of those things, they are also written under each box, so that we can contact you after you applied about the success or the ongoings. So this is really important. And then in case of consortium, you can here add the details of the consortium members. And yeah, then you go ahead with the website. Then after this, the first section, it is structured into more or less into the selection criteria. So first we have the point excellence. So you write down the current baseline situation and the main challenges of a associated region. So what's your objectives of the project? Then a second point, where are the similarities to one implementation site? So that's more for you, the argumentation. So where do you see any similarities? So not just the ecological ones, and also the socioeconomic aspects. So you just pick it out and argue it. And then you have also which restoration activities you have planned. So here's the list. You can tick the boxes which is most related to it. You can also tick a bit more than one boxes. And then you have here also a section where you can elaborate and explain it for your situation. Yeah, then we have the impact section. So you can clarify the relevance for Restore4Life and the Mission Ocean together in one box. Yeah, that's the point 2. And then we have the point 3, the implementation. You can clarify the feasibility. If you already have a work plan, if you have defined some potential barriers and risk. So you can write down all what you already have in your region, so that we see that you are aware of potential risks, that you have made your thoughts about your region, and that is really good for a cooperation with us. And then you can type here if you have existing knowledge, resources, or network. So again, here, just write down what your situation is, that we see that you have made your thoughts. And then here's the budget section. So you have personal costs, and then also travel, equipment, other goods, work, services. So in case of subcontracting, please put this here, I would say. The indirect costs, so automatically 25%. No, we have said we're not sure if this will need to be 25%. I'm not sure what we discussed in the question section, but yeah, so you write down, and maximum it has to be 100,000, but it could also be less. So this depending on your project size, how you see how many costs you will have. Yeah, total grant. And then it's already the last ones. So you agree to participate in under our participation rules, so that you have read the guideline for applicants. And then also you give the express that we can process your personal data. Then you click on submit, and your application is on the way to us. And after we receive your application, you will get an email from us that we received it. And then it will need time for us to make the submission, the evaluation process, and then we will hear from us in June again, hopefully, when we have the rule on outgoing, and then we can say if it was a successful application or not. So we will just collect all applications, and after that you can hear if you are part of us or not. So this was the application form. No, wait, here. And yeah, so first the last slide, and then we will have a question section as well. So here is a small checklist for you. So please read the instructions carefully. If you are not from a local or regional authority, then you need to find one to apply, or two. And then you will need to apply via the online application form. So via email is not possible. Then please be aware of the deadline. After 5 p.m. on that day, we can't receive any more applications.
Johanna, to be, it is May, not March. There
Oh,
was
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, of course it's May. No hurry.
Katarina, thank you.
You don't have 7 days more. No, no, no. You have 2 more months. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. I will change this before I send it out to you. It's of course May. Then for the application form, please apply in English. Because yeah, within the whole project we will do most of the things in English, or the official part. So please apply also in English. Respect the maximum word count. The system will do it automatically, but if you just write and write, please make sure that there is a maximum. And please be explicit in your argumentation. You don't have to write until the maximum word count in each box. So if you can also clarify it in more specific way, explicit, that's also fine. But not too short, not too large, so explicit. And then add all required contact details, including your mail address, so we can contact you. And if necessary, if it could be possible that we are not sure if you are applying as a local or regional authority, then send us a legal proof as well. Yeah, that would be good if necessary. And yeah, then we can now answer your questions. That was all content now. I think it was a lot of input. Yeah.
So would you like to share again the screen?
Yes,
Yeah,
here it is.
that's perfect.
Here.
Yeah. Yeah.
12, I would say.
So for the 12th question, if the implementation should be already be implemented, the measure, no, definitely not. It's not about monitoring. We would like to implement or to develop roadmaps, and we do not need roadmaps without where action have already been implemented. So should be planned projects. It is, I think, okay if you have already implemented something at a special site and you would like to improve this implementation, enlarge the area, whatever. So it's not restricted to degraded systems. You can also implement something in where you have already done something, but the new action must be really projects where you, not implemented. But yeah, the implementation criteria still, you should not, you can have already, you will have similar preconditions. you will have a fixed river, you will have the nutrient issue on your wetland, or the missing water, the missing lateral connectivity, something like this. You can also say it's yeah, and then you can show the situation in your area. I hope this fits now.
Yeah, question 13 belongs to the cost categories. So the calculation, if we have any rules how the costs are split up. So if there's a lot of costs for the service section, so the subcontract section, if we then see that's not possible. I'm not sure if we have there any rules. I think that's your...
If I understood the EU project officer correctly, there are no rules.
Yeah, also
we
with
will check the 25% overhead rule, and then yeah, it should be that the only thing is it should really fit to your working plan.
Yes, and if you may need this, co-financing is also possible. So there's no rule on it. You can have it, you don't have it. So it's just your like you have. The minimum maximum duration. So because we are doing some roadmaps with you, of course your project don't have to be finished within our project duration. So your project or your own implementation action can also be after our project, as I understood. But all things we are doing together, so the restoration plannings and the roadmap, whatever, that also needs to stay within the project duration, and also the payment of money also needs to stay inside. But what you're doing after then, that's not relevant. I understood, right?
But the money you will get from us needs to be yeah, that we need to have the costs before we finish our project. So, and I think we have a two-month limit before. Oh, sorry, I'm not sure anymore about this.
But yeah, in 2027, there's I think in the summer, there's the last possibility to pay the money.
Yeah, but we have said as we have to check the costs and so on, it cannot be at the end of our project, but 2 months before, earlier. So we will write it down the exact end of your associated region project.
So yes, the contact persons, so the contact details you're writing down are from authorities. So both sections you can fill out. The contact details must be from authorities. So yeah, the representing person is of course then from the authority. The person who is submitting the application form, we can't prove. So it should be from the authority, but in the end we can't prove it. So all the contact details and the person also who has to sign the contracts, whatever it is, must be from the local or regional authority, but who is submitting the application form itself.
So if you are from a university or an NGO, you can support for sure your local authority.
You can do this in behalf of the authority, but in the end, for contracting whatever, of course, you can't jump in. With the indirect costs, I can't give you. I'm not sure if some of the others can give you more information on that, but of course we will ask this again, because this question was, especially to the cost categories, were a lot of questions. So we will ask this our PO, and we'll give you an answer later on this.
As I know, indirect costs can be spent on whatever. I mean, it's up on institution what we'll do with that money. Also, I know that no one will check subcontracted organization where did they spend their money if they provided service, you know, and provided invoice and get money according to it.
So yes, correctly. You can treat that as lump sums.
But it must be justified with your working plan, and it must fit to you.
Yeah.
And there was one more question within the chat, not related to the open call itself, but on our citizen engagements and business solutions, if we already have some.
Yes, so I can answer that one, Katrina. Yes, thank you for your request. It would be great if you could stay in contact with me. We are currently working on the citizen scientist engagements. So we are working currently on protocols. We have collected quite a huge number of citizen science engagement activities related to wetlands. We lived through them. We are now, as I said, working on protocols and are in the testing phase. And if you are interested, I mean, we will probably have them ready more at the end of the year, because the idea is then that they feed into an app. But we will probably need this year here to test them. If you are interested before, you can just contact us. The same for the business-oriented solutions, so I guess not before the end of the year.
Okay, and question 17 is about how it works that the money can be managed with partner organizations. So I think that's in case of this subcontracting we were talking about. We will try to find out the exact way you can handle this, but
yeah, but for sure, you if you are cooperating with the authority, please clarify in advance that they can subcontract you, and that they will do it. They apply and they get the money. We cannot guarantee that they will transfer then the money to you. That is the subcontracting you have to do with them. So if you, maybe you can also make a contract in advance, just in case the application will be positive. And this depends also on the legislation or the law in your countries, how there are limits up to which you can contract without an official, I don't know the words, sorry. So that you have to get more than one offer. It depends on the situation in your country. But for sure, we will make the sub-granting with the authority, not more. Okay.
I think
Yeah,
we have person too much information at the moment. So yeah, please save this link. You have you will find the question and answer on, so you can type more questions later on. So it's open. I don't know, forever. I didn't know how to delete it, so it will be open until the deadline is. So I will check up more or less. And yeah, you will get the direct answers on those questions here in as well. And we will clarify the other questions we could not answer that good with our PO. And yeah, then you will also get or receive the recording of this meeting as well. I will send by via email to you. Maybe it will also be uploaded to our website as well. And I will send you the presentation with all information about the open call. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can use this questionnaire, or you write us via email, whatever, stay in contact with us. We will help you that you will be able to make a good application.
Yeah, thank you very much also for all your questions, and most of all for your interest. And we would really be happy if as many as possible applications will arrive in our online application form. So maybe Gabi, you as the one which opened the session,
Okay.
would you like to, as in behalf of the project management?
Yep. So on behalf of the project management, on behalf of all our partners of the project, I thank you for joining this webinar. I hope we could answer a lot of questions. For the ones that are still open, we will ask the EU and then come back to you. And yeah, and I wish you a nice day, and I hope we get a lot of applications. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And the last question here in the chat, yes, you can. You will get the recording.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.